Hey there, I'm Rachel Barnett with Gentle Frog. I'm making this video to explain how to make a payroll journal entry. This is a speed run on how to make a journal entry for your payroll. If you feel like you want a little bit more help, I'm happy to help you one-on-one. I also have a payroll course that has multiple lessons going through the different scenarios for what if there's retirement, what if there's health insurance, what if it's a match, what if you get the idea. So for this, I'm making it to help one person understand kind of the ins and outs because we ran out of time, and I thought if this person needs it, somebody else might too. So I'm just going to start from the point that we have the journal entry. I'll walk through the make-believe scenario, and then I'm going to show you how this information shows up on various reports. In this make-believe scenario, we have a situation where there's employees. They get paid via direct deposit. There's a payroll company that processes the payroll. The payroll company takes all of the tax money except for a little tiny bit. There's a little portion of the tax money the payroll company doesn't take. The employer needs to keep track of that and remit that separately. So that's our scenario. What I've done is I've just created a journal entry to walk through everything that appeared on the payroll reports. I didn't make fake payroll reports for this video, so you'll have to pretend with me. Line number 1 is the gross wages. And so I just indicate these are the gross wages. It shows up on the profit and loss. Line number 2, this is the payroll liabilities. This is the money that is withheld from people's paychecks, and it shows up on the balance sheet. Line number 3, this is the direct deposit or the checks issued to the employees. The employee money is $1,000. The employee money is allocated as $100 to tax and $900 to the employee. So lines 1 through 3, they balance. If you squish them together, they turn into equal on both sides. Then we have line number 4. This is the employer taxes. Just for this brief moment in time, if you read from the top down, this tax money shows up as an expense. And then on line number 5, we set it aside and we just put it in the balance sheet as money that's not paid yet. Dun, 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 because it gets paid a couple lines down. So lines 4 and 5, they balance. We're just saying there's this money. It should increase our profit and loss expense. And it should increase the balance sheet for the money that we owe and need to turn in later. Line number 6, we have the payroll processing fee. So we've increased our fees and we've decreased the money out of our checking account. Then we get down to line number 8, and we certainly can scoot the fees down in the line number 8 up. It doesn't really matter. But in line number 8, we're saying some of that payroll tax money, and the payroll tax money, remember, it's the employee money and the employer money. Some of that money is going to get turned into the state and government agencies where it belongs, but not all of it. Because again, our make-believe scenario is that the payroll company calculates all the taxes, but for some reason doesn't take all the tax money. So I really wanted to show some of this money is coming out of the checking account, but not all of it. So I've made myself notes, and I made extra notes just to indicate balance sheet versus profit and loss. This is all information you'd find on the payroll report. I usually use a payroll summary, like a kind of cover sheet, and then some sort of payroll detail. Very rarely will one report get me all the numbers that I need. But I need to keep track. How much money did the company pay out? Like how much money left the bank account and why? How much money do I need to pay later? How much of the money that left is because the employee earned money? And how much of the money that left is because the company owed tax money? Okay, so now that you can see the journal entry, I want to show you the behind the scenes, like what's happening on the various reports as you adjust these knobs and dials. Before I flip over to it, I do recognize that I have a lot of lines here and you can consolidate this. I have it expanded so you can really see and follow the flow and apply this logic to whatever you're working on. I don't want people to have to get the calculator out and add stuff up to try to see what I'm doing. All right, so let me change pages. The first page I have is the profit and loss. In my make-believe company, this is the only example I've made this year, so this will be really simple. The gross wages, that was that first line on our journal entry. The payroll processing fee and the payroll taxes. As a reminder, these payroll taxes are the employer taxes, not the employee taxes. The $75, it's not the same as the total amount of money that came out of the checking account for taxes. Let me go back to the journal entry. When we look at the amount of money that comes out of the checking account, we can see that it's $160. But that payroll taxes, it's only $75. It's only $75 because it's the employer money. All right, so I've got the balance sheet. The balance sheet you can now see has a bunch of nonsense from years gone by, including whatever module number 5 is. So pretend like you can't see all this extra stuff with these weird negatives and just take a look at the payroll liabilities. The liabilities are $15 and we think, well, that's nice. What I recommend whenever you're looking at it is to click into it. When you click into the number, it's going to present the data behind the scenes for whatever the date range at the top of your report is. So when I click into it, I can see, oh, it's journal entry number 1, and here's those notes that I put in the memo, and here's the ins and outs. So let me just expand this. Okay, well, you get most of my words. So it got $100 bigger because it was money withheld from the employee paycheck. It got $75 bigger because it was employer tax. It got $160 smaller because some of the taxes got withdrawn from the checking account, but some of it is left behind. It's rare to have a payroll company that doesn't deduct and remit all of the payroll tax, but it does happen once in a while, and that was what my client was struggling with, which is why I'm making this video. So whenever you have this situation where money is left behind, I just want you to take a look and be like, yeah, the money left behind does match my report, or it doesn't match my report and I need to go double check what I've done. There should be some part of your payroll report that indicates how much money is the business responsible for turning in. So it usually has a label, something like client responsibility. Payroll companies such as ADP, Paychex, Gusto, they really don't have situations like this for payroll tax. So if you're looking at this and you're worrying, take a look at your report. It probably doesn't apply to you. Now that we've taken a look at the profit and loss, and we've taken a look at the balance sheet, the next thing I want to show you is the checkbook register. Sometimes I think it helps to see that even though there's a bunch of stuff going on, it's not getting counted twice and it's not getting withdrawn from your QuickBooks register twice. So let me go to the register. This is the checkbook register. I just made one called payroll checking. In your business, it probably is coming out of the regular account. I just didn't want all my nonsense examples from before to show up. So what you have is all the different lines on the journal entry, but they total the exact amount that gets deducted from your account. I like having them split out because when I go to reconcile my bank account, the withdrawals are often separate. The way to know if your withdrawals are separate are just to look at your bank account. Did your payroll company take the entire $1120 out at once? Or did they take different deductions for different amounts of money? So I'm just going to circle back, take us back to the journal entry just so you can see it, and then we'll close. So this is the journal entry. It's all nonsense numbers. It's just an example to help you see the logic. I have other videos on YouTube about how to work with payroll. I'm happy to help you one-on-one. I'm happy to sell you a course that I've created where I show the stuff in QuickBooks, but I also just show it in Excel because not everybody is using QuickBooks, and I want you to know what's the logic behind the things that I'm looking at. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer what I can. If it gets too specific or too complicated, I might ask you to book private time. But otherwise, if there's something broad that might help you and might help someone else, I'm happy to answer it, as you can see from this video. All right, thanks.